A quorum is present. I will now call this meeting to order. It is 4 p.m. We have no public comments for posted agenda items today. I will now turn the floor over to Ed Martyr, Director for Facilities, Planning, and Construction, and Madeline Chu, Principal at South Chu S. Chu Architects Incorporated. Will present the schematic design for Cimarron Elementary School replacement.
Can you hear me? No. Okay, thank you. This mouse doesn't work. Okay, this Cimarron Drive is on the right side of the page, going up and down. As you can see, the existing school takes most of the site. And we are trying to design the new school at the lower left corner so the school can remain in operation while the construction is going on. This is what we came up with. The building is basically a one-story except the classroom. On the very left, that classroom wing is two-story.
So I will explore using one-story or two-story.
Ron, Mike, you gotta use Mike.
I'm sorry. One story, we would have to tear down part of the gymnasium and some of the other areas, and it just kind of made it too squished on site. We would have to do without some classrooms, and so we found it much easier just to go ahead and do a two-story classroom wing, and it worked out well.
And as you can see, it takes almost all the available space on the lower left corner. And the only thing we have to remove is the bar park right at the bottom. And the rest of them, we don't have to touch it. So the school can remain open when the construction is going on. And we are building a temporary fence to separate the construction with the existing. And when this new school is finished, the kids can move in, and then we can tear out the rest of them and finish the rest of the drive and the parking. This is how it looks like after everything is done. The front of the school is facing Emporio, but the drive to the school is still coming in from Cimarron Street. And we have some visitors parking in the front, and we are also using this drive for bus loading because this school only have 2 or 3 buses. The staff parking and parents drop-off is in the back of the school. It has a lot of queuing area. This school also has a community clinic attached to the north end. It has separate parking and separate entrance, yet it's accessible from the new school. And we are also talking about doing some kind of a spa park at the north side between the drives. It's accessible to the public. And on the lower right corner is reserved for the detention. This is the floor plan. People coming in from the entry from the south. On your left is the office. On the right is the pre-K and the K. And also there are some life skill classroom. Right in front of the entrance is the cafeteria and PE. If you turn left, it will go to the classroom wing. This classroom wing is a 2-story. The first grade and second grade are located on the first floor. And all this pinkish color, those spaces are for fine arts. There is one music in the classroom area, and also another one behind the stage with direct access to the stage. And there are a couple of art rooms in the middle with its own courtyard. And also there's a dance room in this classroom wing. The library is located at this classroom entry. It's accessible to all grades. And this reddish color on the very top is the community clinic. It has separate exterior entry and also has accessible from interior of the school. And we are going to put an access card to this door so not anybody can just come into school. This is the second floor. Basically, they are the classrooms for 3rd, 4th, and 5th grade. This is a picture of the front entry. This, we are still working on it. It's still schematic, and we are still working with Jenny to make sure that she's happy with it. And this is the back of the school. It's parents' drop-off area with canopies leading to the cafeteria and the PE. This is a bird's eye view of the entire school. The entrance is here. Here is the offices. That's the library. This is the 2-story classroom. And PE and the cafeteria here. And the pre-K, K at the end with those punched windows. In talking about the schedule, we anticipate we are going to submit the drawing to the City of Houston for permit and send the drawing to bid by the end of this year. So the construction will start early next year, and it takes 18 months for the building to be finished. So that put us to May of 2027. And after that, they can do the demo and the parking. Hopefully, we're trying to make it before the start of year 2028. So that's the presentation of today. Do you have any questions? Do you want to add anything?
Ms. Chu, can you go back to the site plan? I got some questions on that. Just Because like,
Oops.
I know like on graduation, kindergarten graduation, all these schools have about 300 cars. And I'm concerned with like, because I know in North Shore Elementary, everybody parks on the grass. Like, because they have a big old circle. So everybody kind of, no. Back two more, back, one more?
Okay.
Right there. Okay. So when we have like kindergarten graduation, we only have like 96 parking for 96 cars. So everybody else is gonna have to park on the street, but that one has like open ditch, so there's really not a lot of street. Besides maybe at the church, you can park maybe a couple cars. And I know like at North Shore, everybody parks in on the grass. And I'm just concerned, are we gonna have any spots like that where they're gonna be, and I'm talking maybe 3-4 times a year, but you've seen that,
Right.
especially at North Shore Elementary, how bad and they're parking like double parked on the grass. And we've been lucky, I guess, none of them days it's rained, but I'm just worried about one day when it rains.
Right. So that's something that, because it's in the city of Houston, we have to do a traffic impact analysis. So Madeline we're currently getting a traffic impact analysis done, and they'll tell us how much parking we have to have. And then we're also going to see about how much of the existing parking around the perimeter we can retain. Because there is some up there by the softball field that's still going to stay, and we're just going to talk about that comment has been expressed by the principal that they do want as much parking as possible. So it is definitely something we're going to come back and continue to develop in the next phase.
Yeah, I haven't talked to Ms. Jimenez about that, but I know that's always an issue.
It is.
Parking's a big issue, and I guess North Shore, the way they do, because they double park on that grass area on Black Rock, like when you come in, and then they even do that on the other side. But I don't know. Looking at, I like this floor plan, but I'm not, because if that's detention, we're not going to probably be able to park there. That's the same thing with North Shore. That detention is fenced off, and I'm just kind of worried where are we going to have that parking for like kindergarten graduation, 5th grade graduation, stuff like that when we have a lot of vehicles.
Yeah, it's very possible they may tell us that we have to do something with those deep ditches. We don't know. Sometimes the city tries to make us do improvements, but we try not to use the public dollars for that. But it's something that's going to be developed in the next phase. Madeline will be checking in with that with the city. So
We're trying to keep the off-street parking as many as we can.
Okay.
So we can consider.
And Spark Park did contact me, and they're interested in redoing the park there, since they saw the existing park was utilized heavily by the community, so they are interested in doing another partnership and doing another Spark Park.
I'm just curious, how big is the old building versus the new building? Do you have it off the top of your head?
I do not. Do you know how big is the existing building?
No, and that was the question I asked as well. Like, what was the difference?
So,
It's been built upon so much.
okay, so the old building is bigger. At one time, there were 1,200 kids in that building. We're building for 700. So the old building is bigger. I can't give you square footage. I don't know. I'm sure we can find it. So there's going to be tighter quarters. It's going to be nicer, but we're building for the number of kids that are there because we don't want to heat and cool and have to take care of a bunch of space if it's not going to be used. Trying to be good stewards of the tax dollar and provide what we need without overbuilding and getting ourselves in a situation where stuff isn't being utilized. It's brand new, so.
The new school is 116,000 square feet.
And we can get you that square footage.
Yeah.
On this community clinic, that's going to be a legacy clinic, right? Or that's what we're hoping? Okay.
And I know the detention pond, will there be a fence around it when it is utilized with the water, or is that not a
Depends
requirement?
on how deep they are.
Okay.
We have not designed yet, but since the drainage on this side is very shallow, you know, the drainage along the Cimarron is only 4 feet. So I don't expect that the detention is much deeper than that. And we can put fence around it, but it's not required when it's not deeper than
Shallow.
certain.
And I think we can, again, it'll be developed in the next phase. We can always move that drive coming off of Cimarron to, if we need to, because we try and make the detention pond shallow to where it just kind of slopes one direction. So we may move that driveway just to give more space to that detention pond to where make it look less like a detention pond, more like just like a depressed field. So that's our intent. So.
The reason we put the detention pond at that corner is because that's a low spot.
Thank you, Mr. Martyr and Ms. Chu. Thank you.
Thank you.
I will now turn the floor over to Ed Martyr, Director of Facilities Planning and Construction, and Manuel Torres, Senior Principal at PBK Architects Incorporated, will present the schematic design for Galena Park High School, phases 3 through 5.
Again, PBK is here to do Galena Park High School.
We are on. All right, we're going to do a group effort. The team is so excited about presenting this afternoon. So, board members, superintendent, cabinet, we are delighted and excited to come before you to present the schematic design presentation for the Galena Park High School Master Plan Rebuild. Before we dive in, I'm going to let each of these team members introduce themselves. They've been a part of every single one of these meetings that we're going to show you the result of all of that work, and they're just excited to be here and partake in this.
I'm Isabela Esparza, Technical Designer.
Hi, I'm Gloria Carlos. I'm an Associate Principal at PBK and Project Manager.
Hi, I'm Darius Sakarakis. I'm a Senior Designer at PBK.
Thank you. And good afternoon. I'm Jorge Tiscareño. I'm a Partner and Design Director at PBK.
All right, so let's dive in. So the agenda for today, we're going to run through really quick introductions, just simply where are we in the process. There's a good opportunity to sort of recap where we've been and then where we're going on the overall project. We're going to run through the building program. We spent a lot of time developing that with the principal, his staff, all the committee members, and so we want to walk you through that. And then we're going to walk you through the proposed master plan, right? This is the master plan rebuild of the entire campus. So we're going to show you in detail what each of those proposed floor plans for each of the levels, how that's laying out as we sit here today. A big part of the project has always been the phasing, so we'll walk you through that. How are we going to construct the new, meanwhile, phases so that we're able to demolish and build accordingly to maximize student safety, minimize portables, in fact, do away with portables, all of those things. So we'll walk you through that. And then we got some cool stuff to show you on the exterior design. We got some exterior design concepts and interior design concepts that hopefully you will agree that we're headed in the right direction. So we're excited to show you that. We need to acknowledge project budget, right? We've gone through working with Rice and Garner and Ed and his group and understanding what is the bucket of money that we have in order to achieve all of these phases that we're going to walk you through. So with that, let's dive in. So Gloria, you want to walk us in terms of where we're at?
Yes, I'm going to be presenting here where we are right now. As you can see, there's a line of delineation between schematic design and design development. So we've had numerous meetings with Mr. Ramirez and his staff in developing some of the plans, programs, right? Just going through. We do have next week scheduled already for a design development meeting, more for programming, refining those spaces as well. And then also moving through construction documents that will be broken out in packages, right? And we know that this is a phasing project. So we will be issuing out the first one, which will be the field house at Dement Field. And then also through the construction phases, just basically outlining those packages and when they will start and in construction.
Awesome, thank you, Gloria. So again, just wanted to emphasize the collaborative process that we went through. We went through multiple of meetings, understanding every department, every space requirement. One of the highlights, at least from our perspective, was being able to present to the faculty and get their input and get their reaction to where we were at the process. All of that, kind of the main thing that resulted in the schematic design is we were able to develop the building program, right? This is the recipe that we're going to use for developing the entire design. So when we looked at developing this and all of the meetings that we had with the staff, the idea was let's come up with the program holistically. What that means is we've completed phase 1, which was a 14 classroom addition to the original high school. And then, of course, we completed the CTE and the cafeteria. We're going to look at this holistically, roll that into, and see how that evaluates against rules of thumb in terms of what should the square footages be for a 2,100 student capacity. And that's exactly what we've done. So where we land with that, you'll see the number 414,712. That's the square footage that we're allocating. And when we look at rules of thumb, right, we're very fortunate to do a lot of high schools and know that if we're anywhere between 180 square feet per student to up to 200 square feet per student, we're right in the range. So the fact that we're at 193 is a really good range to be in terms of at the end of schematic design and moving forward. If you look at your existing high school right now, your square footage is actually about the same. I believe you have a little bit more capacity, but what that means is that you're just using it a little bit different, right? So there's rooms that are maybe a little bit smaller than perhaps TEA would like us to have nowadays. So the efficiencies are different, and I know over time you built onto that the original high school over time, so the standards and the efficiencies are gonna vary. So at the end of the day, we are giving you a 414 gross square footage high school with a very efficient layout, very cleanly organized to maximize the efficiency of that circulation. Okay, so what does that translate to in terms of new project? This means that phases 3 through 5, which we're gonna walk you through today, is gonna roll up into 315,000 additional square footage than what you have today. Again, you already have the CTE and you already have the 14 classroom addition. So for new project's sake, we have 315,000 square feet. Included in that, actually not included, additional to that is a multi-purpose facility that's integrated with the design of the campus, and we'll walk you through that as well. Any questions on the program? I know there's a lot of detail there. Just want to make sure. Okay, fantastic. So with that, I'm going to hand it over to Darius, and he's going to walk us through the master plan.
Thank you, Manny. And thank you in advance to the board. I know that the phasing can be a little complex to understand even for us, so rest assured we're going to answer all your questions in regards to that. And please know that we're in schematic design, so there's still some elements that are in movement. So we've been working closely with Principal Ramirez and his staff, as well as the Galena Park facilities team, to really hone in on what the best future for Galena Park looks forward when it is looking forward in regards to the plan. And our goal has always been to not only maximize the budget, but maximize the space allocated to us given the constraints of the site, as well as the challenges that come with phasing. And it's also our intent to sort of minimize any growing pains that come with a phased construction process, whether that be movement for the students across campus in relationship to that construction, or as Manny said earlier, having limited to zero staging required and having absolutely no need for portable classrooms. So walking you guys through the phasing, this currently on your screen is the existing Galena Park High School with the phase 2 of the CTE recently completed. Oh. And then this is the finished plan, which we'll dive into a little bit more in the next slides, but just to give you guys an overall view of what direction we're going in. And are the floor plans before the phasing? No, the floor plan is. So I think let's focus on the floor plan. Oh, okay, gotcha. Okay, gotcha. We're going to walk through the floor plan first, and then we'll discuss phasing afterwards. Apologies for that. So you can see most of our program is facing Keene Street. This is the more public thoroughfare that we wanted to address with the idea of the community engaging with it. You can see at the front, we have the new admin, as well as the library, and that multi-purpose facility that Manny was talking about. We have that integrated into the classroom wing. So the academics are all of that in blue alongside of it. And our intention is that space is easily accessible for CTE, for larger group activities, right? And, being in Houston and Texas, right, those students now have an indoor sort of area where they can do large things, whether that's robotics competitions or some assemblies. And also the other thing that we wanted to achieve is that the community also has a space in times of emergency that they can come to and have shelter on campus. And then so if we sort of start at the admin coming in off of that front entry, we have some visitor parking up there, as well as you guys have existing parking across the street, across Keene Street. And you'll come through the admin into what we're calling Main Street that runs horizontally. And you'll sort of arrive at a nexus point for the whole campus, where you have the fine arts to your right and the dining to your left as you come in through the admin. And so that'll be one larger lobby space that kind of serves all of those programs at once. And then so our new fine arts kind of goes off to the left there on the plan, and you can see we have those practice fields that will hopefully serve the band team with that easy access, as well as to the south on Parkside Drive, we'll have a pull-in so that they can unload and go off to their competitions easily. And then going back to the right, we have the library, as well as that academic wing surrounding the multipurpose. And then between the academic wing and the new athletics complex, we actually have an easement that runs through the site. And so we are respecting that easement, and that's why those buildings are separated. But that area will be fenced in, so for students going between athletics and academics, there won't be any concerns for security or safety. And then the last part of the plan is the new field house below Dement Field, and that will serve largely the football team, as well as some additional programs, a new weight room, and some offices for the coaching staff. And on the second floor, you can see we have more academic classrooms, as well as those phase 1 existing classrooms that we're connecting back to. And then we have our auxiliary gym and practice gym in the new athletics complex on the second floor. And then we also have some additional program on the field house. And you can see that the existing CTE actually will connect to that academic wing to sort of facilitate the movement of students from point A to point B. And then just on the third floor of that academic wing, we have the science labs, as well as some elective classes. And then also in this view, you can see that, including that multi-purpose, there'll be 5 separate spaces for different programs to sort of utilize, whether that be band or the CTE programs or even some of the athletics. Any questions on the floor plan or any of the individual elements before we move on to the phasing? Okay, so as you can see here, this is the completed, after Phase 5, high school campus. So the first phase, following the Phase 2 CTE that we just completed, would be what we're calling 3A, and it would be that new field house. The reason that we're doing that first is so that we can demolish the old field house, and that'll remain a constant pattern as we move through here, is you have to demolish the old before you can build the new, and vice versa. And so then we get to build in 3B both the new athletic complex as well as the new multi-purpose facility and those academic wings and a portion of the library. And this is how we are able to sort of avoid any portables and limit the amount of temporary staging we have, is because we're building a large chunk of the active space that the students will be in up front. Following that, as we demo pretty much all of the existing school that's left over, we'll be able to build the fine arts, which is the auditorium, the band, the choir, and some of the cheer and drill team, as well as these new practice fields for them in Phase 4. And that will connect to the existing Phase 1 classrooms, which we will renovate for some art classes and additional program. And finally, we'll finish with Phase 5, which will be the admin and the front entry, as well as adding in that visitors parking lot. Any questions on the phasing for the master plan? Okay. Next up, we're going to show you guys some 3D visualization, so I'm going to hand it over to Jorge for that.
Thank you. Thank you, Darius. This is down, right? Down. Thank you. So looking at the exterior before, so I'll just show you this one overall, and then we have also some close-ups of the overall exterior design for the new vision for the new Galena Park High School replacement. So overall, like Darius was kind of showing us, this is actually from one of the corners, kind of over Keene Street. You kind of see on the bottom the existing parking that you already have, and then across, then you see the whole new high school. Basically what Darius was showing us, but just now in kind of massing it in 3D. And even on the far right, you see actually the street and the bridge that we still have there. That's still kind of in consideration to see if we still need to keep it or not. Right now, we're still in consideration. We're going to keep it, and definitely the Lilly Building will have some other uses as well. So all of this from the Lilly Building all the way to the Menfield, that's actually the whole new campus for Galena Park High School. So here you have, like, again, for all the way from the right is the Lilly Building, then the 2 new practice fields right next to our high school, then the rest of the high school, like Darius was mentioning. You kind of see right in the middle, kind of where that kind of parking loop is, that's our new entry. The same thing is like right now, there's actually no parking, no visitor parking right next to the high school. So by being able to do this, we actually not only have a little bit of a drop-off actually for the high school, but as well some visitor parking really close by to the entry into the main administration. Then further back on the back, you see obviously the CT and the cafeteria that is already there. Then the classroom wings, that's pretty prominent. That's actually the 3-story, plus the big multi-purpose area. And then on the far left is the athletic complex, and then on the way back is the new field house. Same thing on this one, is just looking from the same street from Keene, but looking further south. Now we're looking at the Menfield, and then I kind of basically taking it all the way up. Same elements, just from a different point of view. And then this is one of the main views now, actually starting to drop in a little bit closer. So one thing I did wanted to highlight is you guys know we already kind of have basically the first step for the new Galena Park High School. And that was the new cafeteria and dining commons and CTE. So that one already established its own kind of language, architectural. We have the columns, the canopy with a little edge on the sides, and then even different type of brick and masonry. So we started there, and actually we even went through all the exercises and saying if we needed to completely just kind of match that, or if we are using that as a base, but then also building up. And obviously the decision was to use that as a base, but then kind of keep building up and then being more in tune to the overall new design, because we did change the overall design to the one we had a couple of years ago. So from there, if you notice, we have the same kind of columns, kind of same language for the brick, but then kind of picking up and doing some newer things from it. So from the left, you see the main entry, then you see the big 3-story building. Again, that's the big classroom. And then way on the left is the new athletic kind of complex. This is a view from night, kind of same thing. Then a little bit more up close, that's the main entry for the new Galena Park High School. Same thing, just looking at it directly from the parking lot and more like a night view. And this is the new multipurpose and the classroom wings on either side. And then that's the one that Darius said, right? You can even see between the two buildings, there's a cover area, there will be a fence, but this is the new arena kind of main competition gym and 2 gymnasium and athletic complex. And then kind of the same thing just at night, right? The entry to a lobby to a main competition gym. Same view, but just from the other side. Again, this is the whole new competition gym and 2 gyms. Then this is the field house that Darius was mentioning. So this is at the end of the main field. So this is the replacement, and this is the 2-story. So right there, where all the glass right in the middle. So we have the 2 entry points on the side, but then right in the middle is actually a double height weight room area. That's, the kids practicing there can actually see the main field. And then if you notice, even the Galena Park High School, the branding on the top is very similar to what you have in the dining common area. So again, bringing that language and bringing it over and just kind of augmenting and building from there. So a little further back, looking from the bleachers, what people are going to be able to see further back. Then jumping onto the interiors, so if you guys notice, so this is actually the entry point that you already have. So that's actually, you have the plaza on the back of that dining commons, and you have that big cover area, and then the main entry. So here you don't see it, but on the far left, that's actually already your existing dining commons, terrazzo floor. So we're bringing that over, carrying the same language, kind of the same thing on ceiling, but this is now going to be overlooking into that dining commons. You have your main entry area, and then the entry to the auditorium. So that's actually where you're going to be able to see. And then the idea is that you also have some pre-function area before even gathering, because there's always a lot of public before you go into those events, so they can gather actually on the outside. And even if they need to spill over, they can spill over to the cafeteria. And then the same thing, but just looking a little bit forward. And actually, even on this one, if you see further kind of on the back on the left side, that's actually guiding us directly to the main entry that you saw already. So in reality, there's also very close proximity to the visitor parking and to the parking across the street, so that people can actually kind of come in very quickly from there to the main auditorium area. And I wanted to let Darius, because he did such an amazing job here on the multipurpose.
Now, the whole team has been really excited about this space. Not just architecturally is it unique, but what it's going to provide for the community and for the students is something that, in K through 12, we're really passionate about. So in this scene, you can actually see a robotics event being held. But if you look around that, you can kind of see in the back, we have a skywalk that goes between the 2 wings. That's a little bit elevated, as well as on the sides, you can actually see those are the classroom wings themselves, which will look into that space. So hopefully build a sort of connectivity for the activities that are happening there and the students in class, so they can feel, they can see the things and get excited about robotics or get excited about band practice, etc. And then even on the right side with those 2 monitors between it, we have a sort of terraced area on the 2nd floor that someone could come out and look down onto that space, or during an assembly sort of give an announcement or something like that. But here we have another view where you can actually see on the right side under that terrace, those doors would lead to the main street that I pointed out earlier, which on the other side is the CTE. So really quick and easy access for the CTE students to get to the academic wing, to get to this multipurpose facility. And then this is a section sort of showing you how those classrooms are integrated in that space. We have the 3 floors of classrooms on either side with the circulation in between. And then here we have the weight room at the new weight room at the field house under Dement Field. And you can sort of see on the upper levels, the coaches' offices are there, and they'll be able to look down into the weight room, so sort of increasing visibility for the students. as well as another view of that space. Any questions on any of that? No? Thank you.
Again, just in terms of project budget, right, we've been working with Ed and I'm sorry.
I probably should wait for this part of it, but I just can't. I'm so excited, I don't know what to do. I'm trying to be professional like my colleagues and sit and listen. This is just beautiful. I'm just praying I live to see it.
Thank you so much. That means a lot to us. Thank you so much. In terms of our project budget, we wanted to acknowledge, again, working in detail with Ed and Ron and his group, understanding that each one of these phases has a finite set of square footage, finite set, amount of money, right? So we're going to be diligent and continue to monitor that. And as we continue to develop the design through design development, those are the things that we'll continuously check, and we look forward to bringing you back in terms of where all of that meets both the budget in terms of overall square footage and the overall master plan. So just wanted to include this as an acknowledgement of understanding that budget. And then sort of wrap the presentation up, we do have a brief animation that I'm going to see if it, here we go. Kind of help us describe the whole process. So with that, we will open it up for any other questions.
No, I don't have a question, Manny, but just wanted to say thank you to you and your team for a fantastic presentation. And it's kind of hard not to get a little emotional seeing what the new school is going to look like. Being a longtime resident and alumni, and remembering what some of us who've been here for a long time went through it, and seeing the school to what it's going to be. I'm pretty excited to see it. So thank you guys for doing this.
That means a lot to us. I can tell you we have a passionate group, and we are very fortunate to work on a lot of projects, right? But every now and then we get one that is super, we know that it's impactful. And when it's impactful, as we know this is going to be, it's impactful to us. And so thank you for those words, and you've got our commitment that we're going to continue to develop that in that same passion.
Well, I too. I also have just a comment. I spent 38 years of my life at the old Galena Park High School. And to see all of this, it's overwhelming to me. We had many wonderful memories at Galena Park High School. We have at least 4 alumni here. I did not graduate from Galena Park High School, but my 2 daughters did. And we have tons of memories. So yes, this is bittersweet for me. Our kids are gonna love this, and they will take care of it just like they did with the old Galena Park High School. And they'll build memories, tons of memories, with pride. And our yellow jackets are going to love this. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Ms. Hernandez. Thank you so much.
Well, I'm like Noe and Norma. You know, that was our old school, and I mean, it was old when I went to school there. When I graduated in '86, and Noe after me. But I mean, I have a bunch of questions, but I think they'll come later once we get further in. But no, I'm excited, you know, because I still got nephews there. I've got a lot of friends. All my friends. I mean, I go to church right across the street, so I'm the one that's going to be bugging Ed Martir now every time something's going on and the streets aren't clean or something. But no, this is one of those factors that makes like a wow, you know, especially for that community. Just because a lot of our kids are, you know, not as privileged as others doesn't mean that they can't have the very best facilities. And I mean, this is a great start. I mean, the CTE building is amazing. I think I've toured that like 4 times with Mr. Ramirez. I've had chamber meetings there. I say, hey, we're going to host a meeting, and thanks to Mr. Ramirez for allowing us to host that. But it's something that you know we got to show it off because it's beautiful and it's exciting and yeah, I know it's going to take a long time, but it's been, I guess, well worth the wait, and we're excited, and thank y'all very much for your dedication. And it's amazing how you can, you know, go from an old school. I think I've been to all the old schools there, and none of them are old. None of them there that when we graduated or we went to are there no more. So this is exciting, you know, for the whole community, not just, you know, the north side, the south side. You know, the north side's got a new high school a long time ago. That's where my daughters graduated from. But now it's like, you know, now the high school is on the south side, you know. And it's been, I guess, a long wait. And I guess the wait is over. And thank you. And thank you to your team. And thanks for going the extra mile. And it looks like we'll be excited once we cut the ribbon, once we do the groundbreaking, once we do everything there, and you know, we're excited. I think all of us are.
Thank you, Mr. Garza.
One more. Kudos to what everybody said, but we also want to include Ms. Chu and her team, because a longtime resident of this community and a graduate of Galena Park, Cimarron is one of our oldest schools, one of them. And to see it, somebody said it might not be as wide, but it's going up 2-story. And for an elementary school, that's big time. So we're real excited about that as well.
Thank you, Mr. Martir and Mr. Flores.
Thank you.
I will now turn the floor over to Ben Poppy, Chief Financial Officer. He will present a budget workshop.
It's on? Okay. It's kind of hard to follow that up. But we're going to continue this exciting fun, and we're going to talk about the 2025-2026 budget. All right, so this is the agenda today. So we're going to talk a little bit about just the overall 89th legislative session, talk about budget updates, budget factors, enrollment projections, budget assumptions, talk about the fund balance, and next steps. All right, so the legislative session, we're at a standstill for the next couple of weeks. There'll be a lot of hearings. There's been testimonies provided, And so we're kind of just in a waiting pattern for the next few weeks to find out what's going to come out of the House and what's going to come out of the Senate. So not a lot to update today, but we are following it, we're keeping up to date, and we will continue to update you each month. But these are just the key dates to look at. And then sine die is June 2nd, and then the governor, the last day that he can sign or veto any bills is June 22nd. If you remember 2 years ago, we think legislation's over, and then there's a bunch of special called sessions, so we'll see what happens. All right, so these are the considerations, and I would put a question mark after every single one of these bullets. So is the basic allotment going to increase? Currently it's 6160. Question mark, it could go up. They're proposing 6555. Is there going to be additional funding for special ed? Is there going to be additional tax compression? Is there going to be an increase in homestead exemption? All these are question marks. We really don't know a lot right now, but we'll continue to update you each month. All right, so the 24-25 budget actuals. So the property values are trending in line with what was budgeted. We're a little short. We'll have certified estimates next week for 25-26 and see what those numbers look like. Our average daily attendance is down a little bit, so we continue to look at average daily attendance. And then our interest earnings continue to trend very favorably. And then expenditures are coming a little bit lower than expected, which is a good thing on the compensation budget. So there's quite a bit of savings there just through vacancies. So if you look at the 24-25 budget to actuals, if you remember back last August, the board adopted a $9.4 million deficit. We're currently estimating a $4.7 million deficit, and we expect that to be shrinking over the next 4 months, hoping to come back with better news in August through vacancies. All right, and then budget factors. Again, we talked about enrollment, average daily attendance, property values, staffing, and compensation. And this is just a visual on enrollment projections and average daily attendance. Continue to trend a little bit low each year, but that is a statewide thing. There's a few districts that are continuing to grow, but most of them are trending a little bit lower. All right, so early budget assumptions for 25-26. Again, the average daily attendance at 18,665. Property values, we'll know more next week. We kept the tax rate steady currently. We'll wait to see if there's additional compression. And then we'll look at the certified estimate next week to look at the INS debt rate. And then campus department and allocations. And then we did do a 5% department budget reduction just for departments, not campuses. And then we did right size. We had a right sizing committee. And so we did a brief right sizing, and through attrition, 20 positions being reduced. All right, so the preliminary budget projections is that a budget deficit of $9.2 million. Again, this is based on current law. So if there's additional funding, these numbers will change for the better. But we want to base everything on current law. Again, this is our fund balance historically the last 5 years, continued to trend up, supplanting with ESSER funds through 23-24. And then based on what we're projecting for a slight decrease in fund balance potentially, and then we'll know more over the next 4 months. We'll end at 217, and it could be a little bit higher. And these are the next steps. Again, next week we'll get the certified estimates from Harris County Appraisal District, and then the TRS active care rates. They just called a special board meeting for June 3rd, so we'll follow that to get what the rate increase or if they're flat. Then we'll continue to analyze current year projections. We'll continue to update the board. And we'll continue to have board workshops every month for May, June, and August. We'll come back and do a hearing on August 26th with a proposed budget for adoption that night. And then we'll come back in October for the tax rate adoption. So bottom line right now is we're following legislation. We're hoping for good news. And we'll be back next month to continue to update the board. So, pending any questions. All right, thank you for your time.
Actually, one question. Thank you for the update and also the status of the state level, but any forecast or any pending concern over any federal changes to our funding?
We have not seen anything that's directly impacting from the federal level right now that we're hearing from any of the parties that we're following.
Can you go back?
Just tell me when to stop.
Yeah, keep going back. Go back. More, more. More, more. More, more. More. More.
That's the last slide.
Oh, no, go to the one, the homestead exemption. Because it's gonna go, so it's gonna go up from 100 to 140, that's what they're projecting? Or that's what
That has been proposed.
Yeah, that's been, okay.
And in order for that to actually happen,
Yeah.
it would need to come out of the House, come out of the Senate.
And then go to Senate
and go
and-
to the November ballot.
Yeah.
It would need to be on the ballot in
For
November,
November, okay.
on the general election ballot for it to actually happen. If it reaches the ballot, odds are it's probably going to get passed.
Okay. No, I was just, okay, because I know it's 100 now, but.
Yes. All right, any other questions? All right, thank you for your time.
Thank you, Mr. Poppy. There being no further business before the board at this time, the meeting is adjourned. The time is 4:55 p.m. A quorum is present. I will now call this meeting to order. An executive session of the board will now be held on the matters contained in the notice of this meeting as authorized by Section 551.001 through Section 551.084 of the Texas Government Code, the Texas Open Meetings Act. Should the board determine that any final action, final decision, or final vote be required with regard to any matter considered in such closed or executive meeting or session, then such final action, final decision, or final vote shall be at either this public meeting of the Board of Trustees or a subsequent public meeting of the board upon notice thereof of the board shall be determined. A closed or executive meeting of the board will now be held. The time is 5:01 p.m. Executive session is adjourned and the board is now in open session. The time is 6 p.m. I will entertain motions on the items covered in executive session. Is there a motion to approve the superintendent's evaluation?
I, Noe Esparza, move we approve the superintendent's evaluation as presented.
I, Adrian Stevens, second.
A motion was made by Noe Esparza and seconded by Adrian Stevens. All in favor? Motion carried 7-0 with 0 abstentions. The Board of Trustees of Galena Park Independent School District is now convened in a regular meeting on Monday, April 14th, 2025, in the Administration Building of Galena Park Independent School District, the address of which is 14705 Wood Forest Boulevard, Houston, Texas 77015. The time is 6:01 p.m. I want to welcome the members of our audience to this meeting of the Board of Trustees. As the Galena Park ISD Board of Trustees, we are here to set goals, listen to reports from the superintendent, approve budgets, contracts, personnel, appointments, and make policy for the district. It is not the role of the board to make day-to-day operational decisions. The management and day-to-day operations of the district are the responsibility of the superintendent. We have policies and procedures in place to resolve concerns and issues. This is a public meeting of the Board of Trustees, not a meeting of the public. Prior to this meeting, board members received information related to items on tonight's agenda. Agenda items will not necessarily be handled in the order listed on the notice. The meeting is open to all who wish to attend and hear the matters discussed. During the course of this meeting, the board may determine that a closed session is necessary. In that event, the board will meet in closed session to consider matters duly posted for this meeting as permitted by Section 551.071 to 551.084, inclusive of the Texas Government Code. I respectfully ask that you please refrain from talking while others are speaking and that cell phones are turned off or in silent mode. Thank you for taking the time to join us this evening and for your interest in the Galena Park Independent School District. We have no public comments for posted agenda items today. We have no public comments for non-agenda items today. Tonight's invocation will be presented by Jose Jimenez, and the pledges to the American and Texas flags will be led by the Cunningham Middle School Air Force LOTC. Please stand for the invocation and remain standing for the Pledge of Allegiance to the flag.
Bow our heads. Let us take a moment to pause and reflect. Gracious and loving God, we thank you for bringing us together in the spirit of unity and purpose. As we gather today, we celebrate the power of teamwork, the collaboration that allows us to build a stronger, more vibrant learning environment for every student. We give thanks for the rich cultural diversity that blesses our schools. May we continue to honor and learn from one another's traditions, languages, and stories, strengthening our school district where all feel seen, valued, and respected. We are grateful for the dedication of our outstanding teachers who give their hearts and talents each day to inspire, guide, and nurture our young minds. Bless them with continued strength, wisdom, and joy in their calling. Guide our decisions today, that they may reflect compassion, fairness, and the best interest of all we serve. Grant us wisdom, patience, and open hearts as we work together for the good of our students and our district's future. In your name we pray. Amen.
Amen. Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Honor the Texas flag. I pledge allegiance to thee, Texas, one state, under God, one and indivisible. You may be seated. We will now move on to this evening's special recognition portion of the agenda. Dr. Moore?
All right. Sorry for the tight seating tonight. We have a little performance later that I hope you guys all hang around for, that we'll be using some of this space in the middle of the floor. But thanks for coming out. We very much appreciate you spending a little time with us tonight. We're going to honor some of our staff and students, and we are excited that you're here to share that time with us.
Good evening. Trustee Ramon Garza will assist with tonight's recognitions. We will begin this evening's recognitions with the United Community Credit Union for their generous donation that benefited 20 at-risk families. Unfortunately, they could not be with us tonight, so Dr. Karen Haynes, would you please come up and receive the award on their behalf? The credit union leaders worked with Dr. Haynes to identify families in need. Working together, this team provided gifts for those families, helping to create a brighter and more hopeful future. Thank you, United Community Credit Union. Next, we take great pride in recognizing Galena Park High School 11th graders Brian Piedra and Brian Aguilera. These students are being recognized for their courageous intervention on behalf of Galena Park High School teacher Paul Johnson. Mr. Johnson, would you please join the students on stage? And would their principal and administrators please join them on stage as well? These students' bravery and quick thinking reflect the values and community spirit we cherish in Galena Park ISD. Brian and Brian, we applaud your outstanding commitment to support someone else when you saw them in need. Thank you. Galena Park ISD would like to recognize the Superintendent's Student Advisory Board for their leadership and dedicated service to their schools and community. Students, please join us on stage as your name is called. Members of the Superintendent's Student Advisory Board include CTE Early College High School representatives Frida Ortiz, Jose Padron Jr., Mia Pena, Melanie Perez, Joshua Puente. From Galena Park High School, Adam Alvarado, Mia Balderas, Lorenzo Delgadillo, and Cairo Nieto. From North Shore 9th Grade Center, Anaya Brown and Angel Gutierrez. From North Shore 10th Grade Center, Jocelyn Cisneros and Lionel Hunter III. And from North Shore Senior High School, Kyla Eckford, Luke Melendez, and Jace Tepes. These students met with Dr. Moore and other district leaders throughout the year to provide feedback related to important student, school, and community concerns. Would their respective principals please join them on stage?
And while that's happening, I'm going to add a little bit to this crowd. These are my kids. These guys, they help me make decisions when it comes to lots of different things. And they're really bright. Really bright. So bright that I have to do homework before I meet with them, or they'll make me look bad. I'm not joking. They're really intelligent human beings, and they're going to do great things in society. Great things. This is the group of students that help us make our rules, come up with our goals, do all the things that makes Galena Park a great place to be. So, in the room right now, you got the board who does that, and these are the children. I know y'all don't like to be called that, but us grown folks still refer to you as children. These are the children or young adults that help us make good decisions. And part of the reason Galena Park has had success in a lot of different areas is because of them. So if y'all will help me and give them a nice round of applause, it would be very much appreciated.
Thank you, SAB, and congratulations. We truly appreciate you. Next, Galena Park ISD recognizes Alex Sauls, a Pyburn Elementary School 5th grader, and Evelyn Gomez, a North Shore Middle School 8th grader. For their inclusion in the 2024 Texas Art Education Association's Youth Art Month exhibition. Alex's air dry clay sculpture, The Loving Skeleton, and Evelyn's oil painting, Serenity, are proudly displayed and showcased throughout the state. Alex and Evelyn, the district is proud of you and excited to see even more of your work being recognized in the future. Congratulations. Yes. And their teachers. Finally, Galena Park ISD would like to recognize North Shore Senior High School 9th grade center student Jorge Guerra. Will Jorge's coach and principal please also join him on stage? Jorge is the first GPISD male swimmer to qualify for the UIL Swim and Dive State Meet in 35 years. He placed second in the regional swim meet to qualify for the state meet. Throughout the 24-25 swim season, Jorge's exceptional performance shattered 5 long-standing school records, some dating back to the late 1980s. Galena Park ISD is thrilled to support Jorge as he builds upon his outstanding freshman year and looks forward to witnessing his continued growth in the years to come. Congratulations. Can we get a picture with his family, if it's okay? Grandmother was the first one here tonight. Thank you.
Any board member may make a comment during this portion of the agenda without prior posting being required. Comment items may not pertain to the character of any student, staff, or board members and may not be discussed or deliberated upon at this time. Does anyone have any comments? Dr. Karen Hayes, Director for Mental Health and Social Services, will present the academic spotlight with a video highlighting some of the outstanding programs and initiatives from the Mental Health and Social Services Department.
Trustees, and Dr. Moore. My name is Dr. Karen Haynes. I serve in the role of
I have one comment, though. Thank you for the focus on this, because a lot of our children are suffering and no one knows what's really going on behind closed doors. So thank you for everything that you do.
Good job.
Thank you, Dr. Haynes. Sam Harris, Director of Fine Arts and Academic Enrichment, will present the Fine Arts Spotlight. Mr. Harris will highlight the Galena Park High School Banda and the North Shore Senior High School Florico dancers with a live performance.
Thank you, Ms. Hunter. I didn't realize I got to make a big dramatic entrance across an open boardroom. This is a weird board configuration, but I think that you're really going to enjoy, and community, what we're going to see tonight. So, board members, before we start, if you will take a seat, we have this row right there, because it's going to take a minute to get this crew in here. As you're taking your seat, it is truly a pleasure for me to get to speak to you 2 times in a school year. But Dr. Moore has asked me to begin to highlight some of our new and more innovative performing arts programs. You've all been to football games and seen our marching band and our dance teams. Every December, you get to see one of our high school choirs. But this is something different that we're doing. So tonight, enter groups enter. Tonight we're going to showcase 2 different performing arts ensembles, one in dance and one in instrumental music. And this is also a collaboration between 2 different high schools. So this is a very unique experience. These students perform on their own. The Banda Ensemble from Galena Park performs. We're focused on Latin American and Mexican American music. And the Folklorico from North Shore performs on their own. But tonight, they prepared for you this special collaborative performance.
La banda de GP se enorgullece en celebrar nuestra cultura mexicana, interpretando todo el relajo con los bailarines folclóricos de North Shore. Esta canción fue hecha famosa por la legendaria Selena Quintanilla, conocida como la reina de la música tejana, quien rompió barreras y continuó inspirando con su inmenso talento, pasión y orgullo cultural.
La banda de GP is proud to celebrate our Mexican culture by performing Toro Relajo with the North Shore folklorico dancers. This song was made famous by the legendary Selena Quintanilla, known as the Queen of Tejano music, who broke down barriers and continues to inspire with her immense talent, passion, and cultural pride.
Aguas que viene un toro. Ese relajo, escóndete tras las trancas, chetita, que viene bravo y aviéntame tu rebozo, mi vida, pa' capotearla. Toro, toro, toro. Entra de largo, que mi prieta chula, torito, te está mirando. Toro, toro, toro. Toro relajo, ya te estoy quitando, torito, lo alebrestrado. Van a abrir las trancas de su chiqueo, que ya le quite ese toro, mi vida, lo mitotero, ya vea como borriguita chetita a su potrero. Toro, toro, toro. Toro relajo, ya te estoy quitando, torito, lo alebrestrado. Ya te estoy quitando, torito, lo alebrestrado. Ay, ay.
That was such a beautiful, beautiful performance. Can we have another hand for them? I know they worked very, very hard. It's not easy. None of this is easy. So thank you so much for entertaining us tonight. We now come to the business portion of tonight's meeting. We invite and encourage you to stay for the remainder of the meeting. However, if you need to leave early, we understand, and this is a convenient time for you to do so. We appreciate your attendance. Please come again. Go ahead. Wait. Norma Hernandez, Board President, will report on Galena Park Independent School District Board members' continuing education credits. Evaluating and improving student outcomes, EISO. All board members have completed the EISO training. Child abuse prevention training. All board members have completed the child abuse prevention training. Cybersecurity training. All board members have completed the cybersecurity training, school safety training. All board members have completed the school safety training. Update to Texas Education Code, TEC. All board members have completed the update to TEC training. Team building training. All board members and Dr. Moore have completed the team of 8 team building training. Additional continuing education training. All board members have exceeded the additional continuing education training requirements. New board member training. We had one new board member, Amanda Erebia, and she completed all the new board member trainings required of her. These trainings consisted of Open Meetings Act, Local District Orientation, Orientation to the Texas Education Code, and evaluating and improving student outcomes. Mr. Ed Martier, Director of Facility Planning and Construction, will provide a 2016 and 2024 bond program and facilities construction update.
Madam President, Board of Trustees, Dr. Moore, Cabinet, evening. I'm here to provide you with 2016-2024 bond. 2016 bond, we're doing closeout still for phase 2 for Galena Park High School. We're almost done with that. We're also doing more closeouts with Pyron Elementary, and I think 2 or 3 more pay apps, and that will be closed out as well. 2024 bond, as you had the workshop today and saw all the exciting things that we're going to build soon. So we are looking forward to a lot of new projects. Cimarron and Galena Park will be, images will be released sometime more. Thank you. Any questions?
Thank you, Mr. Martier. We will now move on to new business. Is there a motion to approve the 2025 summer school pay rates?
I, Jose Jimenez, move we approve the 2025 summer school pay rates as presented.
I, Amanda Arabia, second the motion.
A motion was made by Jose Jimenez and seconded by Amanda Arabia. All in favor? The motion carried 7-0 with 0 abstentions. Is there a motion to approve the schematic design for Cimarron Elementary School replacement as presented by S. Chu Architects, Incorporated?
I, Adrian Stevens, move we approve the schematic design for Cimarron Elementary School as presented.
I, Linda Sherrod, second the motion.
A motion was made by Adrian Stevens and seconded by Linda Sherrard. All in favor? The motion carried 7-0 with 0 abstentions. Is there a motion to approve the schematic design for Galena Park High School phases 3 through 5 as presented by BBK Architects Incorporated?
I, Noe Esparza, move we approve the schematic design for Galena Park High School as presented.
I, Linda Sherrod, proudly second the motion.
A motion was made by Noe Esparza and seconded by Linda Sherrard. All in favor? The motion carried 7-0 with 0 abstentions. With respect to the general consent agenda, do we want to remove any item for a separate vote or take the agenda as is?
I, Amanda Arabia, move we approve the general consent agenda as presented.
I, Jose Jimenez, second the motion.
A motion was made by Amanda Arabia and seconded by Jose Jimenez. All in favor? The motion carried 7-0 with 0 abstentions. With respect to the construction consent agenda, do we want to remove any item for a separate vote or take the agenda as is?
I, Ramon Garza, move we approve the construction consent agenda as presented.
I, Adrian Stevens, second the motion.
A motion was made by Ramon Garza and seconded by Adrian Stevens. All in favor? The motion carried 7-0 with 0 abstentions. With respect to the financial consent agenda, do we want to remove any item for a separate vote or take the agenda as is?
I know we, as far as a move, we approve the financial consent agenda as presented.
I, Amanda Arabia, move we approve, second the motion, sorry.
A motion was made by Noe Esparza and seconded by Amanda Arabia. All in favor? The motion carried 7-0 with 0 abstentions. The following documents were presented to the board for information. Dr. Juana Giacona, Chief Administrative Officer, presented number 1, Early Head Start Policy Council meeting minutes, February of 2025. Number 2, Early Head Start Update and Fund 205 Expenditure Report Summary of February 2025. B, Mr. Ben Poppy, Chief Financial Officer, presented number 1, Tax Collection Report of February 2025. Number 2, 2016 Bond Program Financial Report as of February the 28th of 2025. Number 3, 2024 Bond Program Financial Report as of February the 28th, 2025. And number 4, General Fund Budget Summary Report for the period of September the 1st of 2024 through February the 28th of 2025. There being no other business before the board at this time, the meeting is adjourned. The time is 6:48 p.m.
Y'all can have your books.
Thank you. Thank you.
As soon as I get my book figures out,
Gracias.